Hey, it is LSID932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. I am here to talk to you. We're reeling it in. This is a new segment that I'm trying to start and explore where we talk about shows, movies, series. And for right now, we are covering this week for Halloween. We are covering some of the slasher films. And if you don't like it, I will ask you to blame Cheryl, who's a part of the membership, okay? Because Cheryl said, hey, I need my slasher films. It's cute and all those other things you don't want to start with. But we are going to start with slasher films for the week for Halloween. And what more iconic films to start with than Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. I don't know which shows are more iconic as far as slasher films. At least for me, those come to mind. It is Freddy, it is Jason, but officially, Freddy, we call him Freddy, but it is Nightmare on Elm Street. And funny enough, my small town has an Elm Street on it, has Elm Street in it. And I find that quite hilarious. Every time I turn down, I'm like, people live down here. Y'all sure? How y'all sleeping? Y'all sleeping good? But make sure while you are here, please hit the like button and make sure you are subscribed so you can help me reach the next subscribers milestone. Thank you so much. So, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not going to say how old I was when it came out because I was pretty young and I should not have been watching that show. Okay. But Freddie told you can't go to sleep because he's going to get you in your sleep. Freddie's going to get you in your sleep. The one thing with Freddie is like, they gave you the little girls that came in. Hey, Ari Mick, glad to see you. Ari Mick comes in here quoting Freddie, okay? Every town has an Elm Street. He ain't lied. He ain't lied, okay? One thing that kind of threw me off, but I knew it was needed, was the little girls skipping rope. But they were to tell you exactly, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you, 3, 4, better lock your doors. They were trying to help you. But I just thought, you could have showed me something else to help me. Because Freddy is grown. Why are these little girls telling us what's going on? But I digress. I was like, wait a minute. This seems like Caroline in Poltergeist. It seemed like 3 Carolines telling me exactly what's going on. And I didn't like that. Or the twins, yeah, I was like, Caroline, is that you? Now y'all see how far back I'm going with my horror movie, okay? I know why, because he ended the children. Yes, Ari, he ended the children. That is why they were the ones warning us. Because remember, the families are the ones who took care of Freddy. That's why he is burnt, he is scarred. Freddy, actually, funny fact with me is that Robert Ingold, who plays Freddy Krueger, that was the first actor I really wanted to know who's behind the mask, who's behind the character. And Robert Ingold, I'm sorry, I followed his career. I was like, oh, you Freddy, I gotta follow your career. Haven't been disappointed since. Now for Jason. Jason was somebody's child. Jason, y'all, Jason made Crystal Lake on the map, and where I used to live had a Crystal Lake summer camp. Now, Ari, you cannot come in here and say every town had a Crystal Lake summer camp either. Okay? Okay. Hey, Ari, glad to have you here. You can't come in here, Ari Mick, and say that every town had a Crystal Lake. We had a Crystal Lake summer camp. I thought it was weird. I said, you know what? In homage to the whatever, these kids, stop, change the name. Okay, have it be Crystal Lake. Why couldn't they pick, why couldn't they pick a different thing? Not you, Ari. Ari Mick is in here. I said Ari Mick, not you. It's too many Aris in the chat. I like the wrong town. Oh, I lived in the wrong town. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Hey, Jackson, Tabasco. Yes. So where I lived had an actual summer camp called Crystal Lake. And yes, it was the one that it was filmed. Okay. So, it was Jersey. It was not far. Okay. I said Ari Mick, but it gets really quickly. I'm sorry, Ari. But yes, it's too, I wish they had made a fictional camp name instead of keeping the Crystal Lake. How about that? How about that? Could we have made that? Because I always saw when the kids were taken, to camp and the advertising was Crystal Lake Camp. I was like, when I grow up, not my children. And it hasn't been my children. Now they've gone to call you Mick Jagger. I'll call you Mick Jagger. I'll call you Mick Jagger. You know, I I just wish they had changed the name, okay? I wish they had changed the name and had a fictional summer camp. But Jason, y'all know Jason just keeps popping back up. But Jason, the difference is Jason was a real boy. He was a real boy. And Freddie, though, was someone who came to your mind and messed with your mind. I mean, come on now. For me, maybe you could run faster than Jason, but of course he had his machete and his ski mask. But for Freddy, everybody falls asleep sometime. That to me was way worse. Now, the one thing I did not like with Jason was when Jason went into outer space. I thought that was taking a little too far. We went a tad too far with the whole Friday the 13th. Okay, we went a little too far. Hey, K Sharp, she says, I am Team Freddy. Team Freddy Krueger. Okay. Team Freddy Krueger. Hockey mask. Mm, yes. It did become silly. It did become silly when they went to outer space. I was like, come on. Who's taking Jason to outer space? And then when he was revived, he was always revived by a lightning rod and a piece of lightning. I said, why can't we keep him covered up without any stakes, when it's a storm? Here comes Ariadne saying, I love Jason X. Really? I didn't. I'll tolerate it because it's Jason. But Freddie also wanted to be born. Freddie found a body that he wanted to be born, into. Freddie done, infiltrated the family. The thing is, what I loved about the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street, you didn't know if the person was actually awake or asleep in some instances. You're like, wait a minute, because at the end of the movie, you thinking she woke up, she handled Freddy, and then all of a sudden you realize, no, chick, you still dreaming, and he still got control. But these are two franchises I could not get enough of. I really, really enjoyed them. I wanted a Freddy glove for so bad. So bad. Yes, I'm allowing folks to come up in a few minutes. But you could come up and talk about what do you like about the franchise. We're sticking to these two. I usually only do one reel it in a week, but since it is Halloween week, on Thursday we'll be covering Chucky and Leprechaun. I was battling what do I place Chucky with? But hey, let me hook him up with another little person. Okay, Chucky's a small toy. I figured the Leprechaun, it could be Chucky versus the Leprechaun. That'll be Thursday, y'all. Same time, same place, right here. But for Freddy and Jason, um, I wish they had a trio, and it would be Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers. Because Jason don't speak, Michael Myers don't speak, so Freddy could speak for everybody. And Freddy always had the one-liners, the one, I really, really, really loved, his quirks and stuff. Jason, the music just told you when he was going to show up and handle business. Show up and handle business. But yes, many people still to this day wear hockey masks. Some people wear the red and green striped sweaters, but less so. But definitely people still use a hockey mask. They still want to be Jason when they're going out. Hockey mask and some overalls or the cover up like a mechanic. I mean, the Jason costume is pretty easy to fabricate if you're going out in Halloween. This Freddy, you got to get the claws. You got to get the sweater. You got to get some scars. Okay. You got to get some scars. Hey, Cheryl Davis, glad to have you here since you are the reason we are here. Okay. When the nurse told me I was having a boy, all I could hear was Freddy. It's a boy. That line is my favorite. Yes. Who when they realizes the baby dreaming, the baby was dreaming, and that's what was calling Freddy forth. Oh wow. I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Y'all taking it too far that the baby's dreams is what Freddy's trying to come through on. But hey, Freddy made it to the realm now. Freddy said, "Hey, you ain't gonna keep me out, okay?" And when Freddy took over Jason, when Jason fell asleep, Freddy was able to, get at Jason because in his dream state, I just figured, Freddy was a little more, you know, harder to manage as a villain because everybody's got to fall asleep sometime. Everybody's got to fall asleep sometime. Freddy is number one because Jason isn't even the original slasher in his films. Now, our Mick Jagger, we gonna give you that, okay? We could give you that. Jason was not the original slasher. We know the mama was, okay? I tell you, the first Nightmare was the best. Yes, the first Nightmare on Elm Street was the best. Don't fall asleep. Let's stay on the phone together. Don't fall asleep. Are you awake? Are you awake? And then all of a sudden you hear stuff and he's done sucked into the bed and everything is a geyser up in the air and he done gone. She fell asleep at school, end up in the basement. She picks up the phone. It is a tongue coming out the bottom piece of the phone. We were shocked, and I think it was the shock value of it all because 2, 3, they weren't that bad, but by then we knew Freddy. We knew how he was coming. Okay, we knew, and then we finally learned, the parents were the ones who, or the family line is what he was haunting at the time. Okay, yes, but Nightmare on Elm Street was the first one was the best. Totally was the best. Cheryl Davis, what I thought about when I was looking for someone to, coexist with Chucky. And as I said, I'm doing Chucky and Leprechaun. I thought of you, if any of you remember Gremlins and Critters, I was almost going Chucky and do Gremlins versus Critters. That I'll probably do that another time, another week. We're getting closer to Thanksgiving. We got to think of some movies like Soul Food and stuff like that for us to cover. But definitely this. You're right. Cheryl, I'm not telling my age, but I'm telling my age. The second one made me afraid to take the school bus. Yes. Yes. Ooh, ooh. Another one that, hey, the more recently, Jeepers Creepers made me stop, wanting a school bus. That one is more recent. But yes, I do remember that. I'm going to drop the link if you would like to come up and have a conversation about Freddy and Jason. I know Ari wants to come up and explain herself for that Jason X, rave review. Critters and what was oh gosh, and I have to go back because I was looking at Critters for a little bit and I said, wait a minute, who was the rock star at the time that the guy changed into? But let me put my headphones on. Ari is here. Let me bring her up.
I can't stand you. Oh,
What?
I can't stand
Why
you.
you stand me?
You intentionally aggravate me.
Oh, okay. Let's go there.
Like you intentionally try to aggravate me. I'm just saying, like, ugh,
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
stand you.
Let's we have to do Michael Myers. Cheryl is only 1 week. Okay. We could figure Michael Myers in the middle of that. The shock factor was definitely in those movies. I was too scared to sleep alone at night. My dad should have known better. Have me watch those movies while in kindergarten.
In
Y'all,
kindergarten, child. Okay.
I, I didn't think I was aggravating you just because I said I didn't like Jason X. That was the one I didn't like. Ari,
I'm here, but okay. Okay. If you say so.
explain yourself.
Well, okay. So, yeah, I'll admit the acting for the most part, all the way around, wasn't that great. I'll admit it because it's not that great. It's not, except for Rowan, the Asian lady. She did what she had to do because I think she was fine. I don't think it was the best, but I think she did what she had to do, and that uh lead sort of what was it? I don't remember what they were called. I just watched like the other day, and I can't remember what the army people or whatever. It's not really army people, but the people like the militia people or whatever that went to try to go find Jason up in space.
Oh
He was
golly.
fine. Like his acting was decent too. Like those two, though, their acting was decent. But everything else was really phoned in and hokey, so I'll give you that. It wasn't the best acting for most of the people there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I
Mm-hmm.
liked it because of the fact that it it didn't seem to take itself too seriously, and
And the
it,
nanobites, you like that he was regenerated with all those nanites?
I mean, if I bought into it, I bought
Okay.
into it.
Well,
So
you
I
got
was
to
like,
regenerate him. I mean, there ain't no thunder and lightning up there.
exactly. I mean, after I'll say this: like, these two are not my favorite franchises. Um, because Michael Myers is my favorite franchise. So that's what I started with was my little Michael Myers going after sisters and babysitters and all everyone in between. So
Chad,
that's what I started with. But
Chad.
since this is not that series yet, I will I just wanted to kind of preface this with that statement first.
Okay.
But if I were to put a second franchise that I like best, it's Friday the 13th, and solely because of the first film. Because if we're, well, I don't want to say solely, but mostly because of the first film, and then also because of Jason X. I mean, a little bit, and I'll explain a little bit why in a second. But um, I felt like it wasn't as hokey as Nightmare on Elm Street,
Okay.
in my opinion. I think they did a little bit too. I don't know. It seemed a little, as much as I say that I think the Jason X was silly. I think Friday the 13th, or sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street was a little bit more hokey. Like it was too. I don't know. It was. I don't know. It's something about it.
You didn't
Is
believe the person could come into your dreams and grab you?
No, I do because actually, funny enough, I love Freddy versus Jason.
Right.
So I love that one, and I know a lot of people take a crap on it. To put, I don't want to use a different word, but I don't want to get you demonetized.
I,
So
I I would take a crap on it, but I love like scenes in that movie when Jason was like drowning in the ambulance. I
yeah,
was like, oh yes, oh
yeah.
yes.
So I mean, I I liked the Freddy versus Jason better than Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. I haven't had too much time to like really think too deeply about it, but there's just something about Nightmare on Elm Street that just doesn't do it for me. I mean, because I think the look of Freddy is fine. It was just that they were changing his voice too much. It was like they were trying to make his voice go deeper, and then it. I don't know. Like, and as the movies went on, it just got sillier and sillier, in my opinion. And
Yes, they
like,
try to appease the more silly horror genre rather than the macabre genre with Freddy. They really tried to make Freddy a comedian.
yeah, and that's kind of how I felt as the Friday the 13th series went on too, because it got way too overly silly, and I mean, eh, yeah.
He was
So
actually I'll tell you what was going on with the voice because I told you Robert England or Ingold, forgot how you say his last name. He was Freddy for the longest time,
yep.
and he did lose his voice during one of those filmings.
Okay.
So that would explain, and that did explain why his voice was a bit different. But
Okay.
yes, Mick Jagger, it was very campy. They were trying to get Freddy to not be as scary as he was before, but I don't understand why. But maybe at the time there was a whole lot of campy horror. Remember, we had Gremlins coming down. We had, Critters was before Gremlins, but we had you know, um, oh gosh, not Chucky. We had more campy style horror and slasher films. And I didn't know how I felt about them at the time. I wasn't enthused. When I saw Gremlins at first, I thought it was trash. Um
Dang. Don't tell my
really.
mom that because I think she loves Gremlins. So I'm
No,
like,
but I'm saying when I first saw it, I thought it was trash. When I'm first watching it, because all he's seen is this cutesy stuff, and we didn't know what it was. We knew it was supposed to be a horror movie, but it's like, wait a minute, from where? And then you see what happens afterwards, and you're like, oh, it's coming. Um, but it was a slow pace. So for me, with Freddy, I understand why they had to go campy, but I really didn't like it.
mm,
Yes, Nightmare made me afraid to go to sleep. Both of them started to get too unbelievable. When Freddy was walking down that tunnel and his arms extended all the way and it just extended far, 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 I said, okay, now y'all need to hang this up. Ain't no way his sweater is stretching that long.
yeah,
Y'all need
you're
to put this away.
like you're doing too much. I mean, give
Yeah.
me a good old fashioned Michael Myers who doesn't say a dang thing, and I like.
Oh, Ari, do you like the strong silent type? Is that what we're hearing in horror and in real life? Don't talk. Don't talk.
Well, I mean, I usually reserve this for like Kojo's channel, but I mean, I don't. If you know Aquarius people, like we don't really do all that much talking about feelings and all that crap. So it's like, I mean, so that may be why. That may be why.
It
But
has spilled over into your horror preferences.
I mean, if
But
if if
will
Sam is,
will
is
you?
listening on the playback, I promise I'm not trying to come for you with the whole emotional stuff. I promise. I'm just saying, I just all this emotional talk is just just leave me
No,
alone.
I would not do a psychoanalysis on any of these people or any of these characters, I would say. But yeah, horror definitely was taking a campy, and these two were trying to adjust themselves to what was happening. That's why I appreciate, and we will do Michael Myers at some point. We don't have to be limited to Halloween, but that's what I appreciated with Michael Myers' point of view is, and those who were like Michael Myers, they did not cater to the times.
Yeah,
Didn't.
and sorry, I mean, I don't mean to keep touching on Michael Myers, but I think the reason why I like that franchise so much is because it's like if you watched one and two and pretty much every other version, every other sequel in the franchise, you know he was coming after family members, and it's like, well, if you can't trust family, who can you trust? So that was scary to me. That's why I liked it a lot. But I mean, that's just to kind of go back on that for a second.
Well, I
But
mean, who's the usual suspect when the police are doing an investigation? Family.
exactly, and I
Family.
think I think that's why I kind of like Friday the 13th a little bit better than Nightmare on Elm Street was because the mom was avenging her son and stuff like that. So I think that's maybe why I kind of like that a little bit better. But
I understand. I understand. Jason, I see it as more, as I said, economical. If you're doing Halloween or dressing up, it's real easy to get a hockey mask and, beat it up a bit and get overalls like a mechanic, and you are Jason. Um, it's pretty, you got to be real specific to get something that's Freddy. But we didn't really have a guide. Like I said before, the young ladies who, I'll call Caroline's, poltergeist. For those of you who are not of my particular age, when I say Caroline, I mean that is from the movie Poltergeist. The young lady that was, pulled into the TV screen. When the TV used to go off and had the snow after the national anthem. That's way back in the day. Um, those young ladies that were skipping the rope, they were our guides telling us Freddy's coming, who he is, what he's coming, and what he's coming to do. We didn't really have guides with Jason. He just appeared.
yeah, I've seen Poltergeist a time or two. Again, not my favorite franchise, but I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it. But I mean, that scene with the family float, the family floating in the water with the skeletons. Ugh,
Well,
I'm
that
getting nauseous just thinking about it. Ugh.
well, that's what for me. That's what The Conjuring and all of that came from was Poltergeist thing. That hot breathing was the guide for Jason.
Hot
No,
breathing.
Mick
Hot
Mick
breathing.
Jagger.
That's funny. That is funny. Hot breathing.
That breathing.
I remember in middle school there was this kid who used to love to do the breathing thing for Jason all the time. I was like, at some point I wanted to like kind of punch him in the face. I was like, if you don't stop.
In both of those, they were catering to making young people scared. Freddie made the high schoolers scared to go to sleep, and Jason made the average kid scared to go to summer camp. I mean,
Yeah, true. That is true.
Jackson Tabasco is 1-2. Freddy's coming for you. Yes, the memories, the memories.
See, actually, that part of the movie for Nightmare on Elm Street, I actually like that. That was a cool aspect, I think, that they incorporated. So
3, 4, better shut your door. 5, 6. Uh-huh.
But my kind of going back to Jason X, the part of the reason I kind of liked it was because a little part of it, it's not a big part because it was only one scene, but where that woman had where she was trying to quote unquote study Jason.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
He comes back to life because he got thawed out. No lightning involved. No lightning involved.
Yes, he thawed out.
Thankfully, no lightning involved. But so he suddenly jerks awake, and he eventually puts her head in a thing of what is it that
The preserving liquid.
no, it was like that frozen nitrogen or something like that. Nitrogen,
Yes.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
That I liked because it reminded me of a scene in Halloween, in the Halloween 2 movie, because it was a little similar but with a hot tub. If you know, you know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
So that it reminded me of that. So that's why I think I liked that movie a little bit. Not terribly because it wasn't the entire movie, but it was very reminiscent of that scene, that other scene. So I think that's why I kind of liked it a little bit. But
Yeah, you're really about that. You're really about that. Jason X, and I'm like, okay. I decided because they were trying to be futuristic with Jason, and I'm like, Jason is a staple in the horror genre. I don't need him. You don't clean his hockey mask. Don't clean his machete. Leave Jason as is. And the great thing, or maybe the awful thing, is I know who plays Freddy Krueger. I know the actor who plays, who's under the scarring and the mask and the hat. But they can interchange whoever it is for Jason. And I think they've had 3 or 4 Jasons in the past.
I think for the most part, only one guy played Jason. I think they may have changed it like once or twice, like you said, but I think for the most part, Kane Hodder played Jason. I think. Let me see. Let me go there.
Yeah, it was a few.
Okay. Well, let me see, because I could have
one main guy whose name is
I
Ari. One main guy, but there were other
ones too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kane Hodder played him the most.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say like I think you played him the most, but
Derek Mears, Kane Hodder, Steve Dash, Ted White, Richard Brooks. It's like, dang. At least 11 actors have played Jason Voorhees in the main Friday the 13th film. 11. I thought it was 3 or 4. I thought it was 3 or 4. So I totally did not know. 11 actors have played Jason in some form or fashion.
You know, I would have thought that would have been the case for little Mikey Myers because I know I could have. I'm pretty sure there was at least one new Michael Myers every single movie, maybe if not more than one, like one person playing him. But I guess I was wrong.
I was wrong too. Several people played Michael Myers as well. Several people. 15 people played Michael Myers. And isn't there 17? So it's like like daggone it. Only one person had a recurring performance. Jeez. But yeah.
Well, I mean, Robert England stayed getting paid playing the same character for like over a decade. So
what Robert England is telling you is you better have a voice part. Because his voice is Freddy's voice. You can't change that. If you ain't talking, somebody else can play the role.
Right. And you know what? I got a bone to pick with those people who made that Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street back in 2020 or 2010, and they had a different actor who played him. I was like, first of all, that Freddy costume looked absolutely freaking atrocious. And this is coming from someone who just said Nightmare on Elm Street is not their favorite franchise. You really messed that costume up. And second, the actor obviously shouldn't have been chased because he was still alive, if not still currently alive.
He didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, then he shouldn't have made it because the costume was atrocious. The plot is like I watched it once and the plot was like forgettable at best. So it's like, yeah, you could have saved that one for the editing the room floor, the bolts or whatever, because that was absolutely freaking atrocious.
He said, Robert England said he's willing to do voiceovers for Freddy, but he cannot play the active role anymore. He's too old. I mean, Freddy is in a dream state. You could just float. I mean, come on now.
Not
he could just float. But he definitely, as sHApp said, he secured his role. He was speaking, in his voice. So Freddy had his voice. If you're not speaking, it could be, and your face is covered, it could be anybody under that costume. Anybody. I'm sure the other Jasons are wondering who the heck took that part for Jason X. I'm just picking on you, Ari. Y'all, y'all know what's coming too. If we're going to do that, yes, we're going to cover Michael Myers one time. I told you we're going to cover Critters versus Gremlin. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover another favorite of mine. Jeez Louise. Addams Family. We got to cover that franchise. We're going way back, but we gotta do it systematically. I guess we're kind of starting here and we're going to move forward with these. But I'm a child of horror and slasher films, so that's why when Cheryl Davis suggested this, I was like all for it. Absolutely all for it, because Vincent Price, going all the way back there to Norman Bates when it was black and white. I mean, yes, Ari, I know you're too young for that. Final Destination, yes, the first few, but
I mean, I actually took a horror film class in college, and we started off with like the early movies of Hollywood for horror. So we watched stuff like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that was like 1920s, and we went by decade. So we watched like a movie or two from each decade. So funny enough, I never actually watched Psycho. That wasn't on the agenda in that class.
Really? So, oh, yeah. That is blaspheme. Oh my word. Whoever that teacher is, I'm sorry. What did they pick for that decade? I need to hear it, because you didn't pick what? Psycho? Well, dun dun dun.
We had like 2 or 3 hours for that class, and we could only watch so much. So we could only watch like maybe an hour or hour and a half worth of film time. So I mean, so he had to pick and choose which ones he could.
That's why I said
Um,
I wonder what he picked instead of, you
yeah, I
know.
don't remember, but I'm pretty sure we didn't do Psycho, like, because I would
Okay,
have remembered it, and I
right.
I don't remember seeing it, but
Texas Chainsaw, yes. The Birds, yes, I've seen that. If I'm doing that, I'll probably put the Birds up against Psycho. Hey Sam, glad you're listening in the bushes. Don't work too hard, okay?
oh,
But yeah, the early days of horror, Vincent Price's The Fly is the original Fly. If he picked that instead of Psycho, I may give him a pass, but I don't know. I don't know that teacher. Um, what they could do, oh, Bad Seed. Oh, I remember that. The Omen. I would put Bad Seed up against The Omen, but it's only one Bad Seed, and it's several. The Omen. Yes, Alfred Hitchcock is the master of horror next to Wes Craven. Mick, welcome to the family. Okay, welcome to the family. With that statement right there, you have upgraded from the kiddie table to the grown ups table. Okay,
dang,
welcome
at
to
the
the
kitty
family.
table. Jeez, you gonna put them in the kitty table for Thanksgiving too?
That's just where new folks go at first. Okay,
Okay.
Children of the Corn. I gotta think about that. Hey, High Vibe. What would I put
Children
up
of the Corn
against
wasn't my
Children of
favorite.
the Corn? Well, of course, that's your time of year. All them
Mm,
churns in them. All them churns in them. I have to think about what I'll put up against Children of the Corn
mm.
because them children was a terror.
Those children sucked.
But those children served a purpose. Okay, they served their purpose. Okay.
Like, I watched it once and I completely forgot everything what happened in that movie. I was like, okay.
Oh, okay. Cheryl Davis. Fun fact about y'all, El Cid. I was a president of the Stephen King fan club back in college. Okay. I had many a Stephen King books in hardcover. I wasn't playing with my Stephen King. Okay. Um, so you wouldn't believe what my favorite Stephen King movie is, Cheryl. Let me see what your favorite is, Cheryl. My favorite book is Dolores Claiborne. Forget the movie. Mm-mm. The book was absolutely divine. I don't think you'll guess what my favorite movie of his. Those kids with the white hair and the red eyes. The Village. Is that what you're talking about, Mick Jacker? The Village. You want to put the Village up against the Children of the Corn? We could put the Village up against the Children of the Corn. Not the Village. Not M Night Shyamalan. The Village.
Oh yeah, no, he sucks now at this point. But funny enough, um, one is a miniseries and the other is a movie. But and this the movie isn't really a horror movie necessarily. It's more of a coming of age movie.
Right.
The Stand by Me. That's the one I love. Was he the one who made that, or was it someone else?
Salem's Lot. He made Salem's Lot. Children of the Damned. Was it
But
Children of the Damned? I remember the one with Christopher Reeve was they were called The Village, I think.
I did love The Stand though. The miniseries, the in 1994. I love that one, even though it's not really a movie.
I like Phantom. I mean, many people were scared of it. Village of the Damned. See, together we'll get there, Mick Jagger. Together we will get there. No, The Stand wasn't my it was a great book. And I think Gerald's Game was way better in the book. No, my favorite is those skinwalkers
I've never heard. I
with the
never
cat
seen it.
with the cats. Oh, I know you ain't seen that one already. I know you ain't seen that one with the mother and son that were cats.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they were
I'm kind of
descendants of
scared now.
cats. They would move around town to town and they would eat, steal the soul of people, of young girls. And so they needed a soul. That is my favorite movie, Skinwalkers. And what I love is that almost every Stephen King movie, he's playing a small role. Like he may be the bus driver, or he may be the guy holding the door. He'll have one line like, why do y'all always keep asking me for these things, and just walk off.
Mhm.
The Shining was extra scary. Jack Nicholson, crazy stuff. What was scary for me was the weather, because I knew they were out in real snow. that
Well,
was that was more scary for me. Okay.
mm,
Yes, that had the guy from Charmed in it, the Skinwalkers. Yes, it did. It did. Um, Mick, if I didn't know any better, I feel like I know you. But yes, definitely the old school films. Definitely, people would call it old school right now. Um, just who was I talking to the other night? I was talking to someone the other night, and we were talking about um The Last Dragon, and I don't know what I'll put up against something like music related show, The Last Dragon with Shonuff and Bruce Leroy. I got to do films like that too, not just the horror, but maybe I'll put that up against Boomerang and see what transpires. But definitely the horror genre from back in the day had me thinking. It had me thinking. Along with, we also had the Twilight Zone. We also had um what was it? Encounters of a Third Kind, or Third Dimension. We had those shows as well that gave us those little 1 hour clips of horror. I mean, I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. There was one episode of Encounters of a Third Kind or something. I can't remember that series. It was like a show like Twilight Zone. The Outer Limits. Yeah, it was the Outer Limits. They had one where a soldier was there and he would always hit his beautiful woman, but there was a force field blocking him, and there was only like one moment that he could get through the force field to get close to that woman. He didn't know what was waiting for him. Now, if you've seen, like, I like Tales from the Crypt too. That was, I would stay up like, ooh, glued to the TV. Tales from the Crypt was also um amazing. Absolutely. The Crypt Keeper. And I loved, Jada Pinkett Smith was in Demon Knight. Love that movie from Tales from the Crypt. There's a lot in the horror genre that I really enjoyed. I'm glad I found my people in here who enjoyed it as well. But we may, as you're talking about it, get out your head. You were about to type that. Candyman, the original one. Yes, the original one. The original one. Original Candyman. Loved the original Candyman. Another one. Another great item in the horror genre. But y'all, Thursday we're gonna cover Freddy and the not Freddy. Jeez Louise, I'm talking about Freddy right now. We're gonna cover Chucky and the Leprechaun on Thursday. Thursday. I was wondering who to put up against Chucky, who also had multiple movies. And many people, underrated the Leprechaun. And I need y'all to put some respect on his name. Because the Leprechaun was campy. He was kind of like, Chucky came out being a little campy until Chucky almost became a bro, at that military school. But I think it was hard. I know some people wanted me to do Annabelle, but I felt Annabelle was a little too, away from the fro. But let's put two
well, because Annabelle, she really didn't move like Chucky did. He was more on literally on his feet, moving around like an actual person.
right.
So, and Annabelle, she was sitting in one place, and then next thing you know, once you blink, she's in another spot. So she's not really moving around like that. So I
Right.
get why you didn't do that. So I'm like,
Yeah, I wasn't going to piss off the Bride of Chucky by bringing another woman around him. Okay, even if it is in my even if it is here. Good comparison. But both of the franchises were good until they tanked themselves. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Chucky did. Chucky did tank himself. I'm sorry. I'm glad you loved the Leprechaun, Jackson Tabasco. We'll talk about Leprechaun and Chucky's franchises on Thursday. Usually I'm only doing Reel It In on Tuesdays, y'all, but it is Halloween week. I will do this on a Thursday. Tomorrow night, it's Wednesday. It's going to be the reunion for Love is Blind Denver. Finally, we could pack it up. And Thursday will be Reel It In, Chucky and Leprechaun franchises. Friday will be our usual unscripted. Yes, Night of the Living, Unalive is the original, was the best. Um, then Saturday we will have our live chat about Love Is Blind Denver, what we saw in the reunion. But I'm just going to watch it tomorrow with you, like we did the others. Everybody's having a good old time with us chatting and talking while we watch the reunion. Um, and then we'll also cover Married at First Sight. 3 more episodes are coming out on Thursday. So Thursday I'll be watching those, putting those recaps out, and then Thursday evening, because of Cheryl, we're gonna be covering Chucky and Leprechaun. And Sunday I'll be covering Married at First Sight UK live, the weekly live. Cheryl, yes, I'm gonna start the live at 8:45 tomorrow, so we can kind of all get in, get our snacks, get ourselves together. So at 9 p.m. we can hit the play button, hit the refresh and the play button, and make sure Netflix isn't playing with us. But we could talk, and while we're preparing, I could kind of go online and see what are the stories being told in the media about Love Is Blind Denver. But members, you got the schedule. Love Is Blind Italy starts December 1st. And for the members, I put up a post for you so you can know what the schedule is for Love Is Blind Italy. Members, you also have my shorts for the next 2 days. Everybody else, it will be given to you, as it's released. But members, you have 2 days worth of shorts in the background. Okay. Oh, I have a few shorts in the background, shorts for tomorrow too for the public. But members, you all have access to all the shorts for Married at First Sight UK. You always forget to refresh. Thanks for the I'll remind you too, Sam, at 9 o'clock, we'll all just refresh. Okay. We'll refresh. Of course, I can't play it out loud for y'all to hear. I may decide to be live on TikTok at the same time, y'all. I've never done a TikTok live. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. But y'all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Ari, for talking to me about Freddy and Jason. Thank you all for entertaining me in the chat about your reminiscing about all the horror genre. But we ain't going to only do it this week. Next week, we're going to do something else. Next week, I think we'll do, next week, Tuesday, the Gremlins and Critters. I think we'll do those 2 franchises. All you need to do is watch one movie of each so y'all can kind of understand what we're talking about. Ari, I don't know if you've seen any of them. You've seen Gremlins, right?
Like once or twice, and that was like years ago. So
Okay.
I
Have you
have to
seen
brush up on.
Critters?
I've heard of it. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it. So.
Okay. That's gonna be everybody's homework. That's for next week, Tuesday. You have a whole week. Yes, this was a fun afternoon, Cheryl. I try to make these light and fresh, and we have, a good time. Just a little bit of a good time right here. But thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow if I don't see you out on these YouTube streets. Thank you so much. One thing about the citizens, you can chat about anything. It's cool over here. You can chat about anything, High Vibe. That's why I have Unscripted on Friday. It's anything y'all want to talk about. And Friday is Halloween. So definitely that post is coming out tomorrow for you to give your suggestions about what we're going to talk about on Friday. Thank you, High Vibe. I'll see y'all on the next one.